Good morning. It's me, Pearl from Pearl and the Prayers. We're about to take a look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspect. Understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in our outside world. So, if we want to see changes in our interactions with others, if we want to try to manifest things that have seemed like elusive, rather than looking outside of ourselves to find the cause, we need to look within and shift the energy inside of self. Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. I don't know if you happened to catch the live shuffle on Instagram, but it was intense today. It was like this very fiery Aries energy that was happening. We had a Queen song that I hadn't heard before or just never kept in my mind called Gimme the Prize. And this was playing during Divine Feminine's shuffle. And it was aggressive and it was, like there was a moment when it was like, now you die. So yeah, it was intense. It was intense. It was like, give me this or die. And then Divine Masculine wasn't saying shit, but he wasn't saying shit aggressively. It was like, so there's this like kind of energy going on right now. So enjoy that and let's get started. We have Divine Feminine, top of the deck, forefront of her mind, the battle. There was even a sword fight in the Queen song. How often are we hearing sword fights in music? You know, I've heard it before, but it's rare. So, Divine Feminine is feeling, thinking, rather consumed with the battle to the death for this thing that she wants to manifest. There's a ferocity with which she is trying to see this thing come to its completion. But when we look at the Five of Swords, it says on the bottom, especially in this deck, which is the Field Tarot, they put words on the bottom of the Minor Arcana. And here we just see defeat. And this is the energy typically associated with Five of Swords. It's about being defeated, accepting defeat, walking away from a battle. Based on the song that was playing, I do not think this is a Divine Feminine who's ready to give up. She's like, give me the prize. But she could be thinking about how hard this battle is, how difficult it is, how it feels feels so aggressive, how that's not necessarily super comfortable state to be in. And she might be just defeated by the fact that this has been such a hard won victory, or that it's still such a hard won victory, because we're still not victorious. So she's still fighting, and she might just be at this point where she's like, I just give up. I don't know. I've just been fighting for so long. Like, should I just give up? Because this is life or death for me at this point. So if I give up, then I guess I'm just dying. Like, there's lots of thoughts about that. It's just like, why is it so difficult? Why are we fighting all the time? This energy, just a lot of that. The thing in the back of her mind, though, is the Five of Pentacles in reverse. So again, that tension we were feeling in the music, well, here it is in the headspace for Divine Feminine, 100%. And I can see it in the headspace of Divine Masculine. So we just feel this tension. But, it's like a rubber band, right? It's being stretched. It's going to snap at some point. It's going to break. It's all going to come to a head. ... So the five energy, when you get fives in tarot, this is a tough energy, but it is mundane, and usually you can push through it relatively easily. It's uncomfortable. It requires some work, but it's not like you can definitely overcome this type of a thing. And the lack mentality, being left outside in the cold, the feelings that Divine Feminine has about this Five of Pentacles energy, which is a card that has haunted them for some time. She's releasing those effects. But it's been a hard-won battle. And she's felt like giving up very many times. But ultimately, underlying this, feelings of exhaustion and kind of like just being like, should I just give up? Underlying that is like, no, there's abundance here. You've healed these wounds in regards to lack. And because you know that you've healed these wounds in regards to lack, you're going to be able to have what it is that you desire. And that's the first thing on your mind. This is the Ace of Wands. So the reason we feel all that tension is because of the energy that we feel. We feel all of this buildup of energy. This is like gonna burst, right? It's gonna bust wide open. So she's consumed with thoughts about this energy, and it's propelling her towards this thing that is what she desires so very, very much. And the next thing on her mind is the Judgment card in reverse. Now, it's interesting because for whatever reason, which I always say, oh, I need to look in the book. And then when I put all my decks down, I literally set them on top of the boxes. So there's no way I can get to this book right now without potentially causing chaos. So we're not going to read it. But at some point, I'm going to read the description of this swan because it's very interesting that they use this for the Judgment card. When we're looking at it upright, we see a swan staring at its own reflection, and we kind of get like a sense of there's mirroring here, obviously, so we can think about like the twin flame union, of course, if we want to. There's the story of Narcissus, like drowning in, reflection upon the self. But the Judgment card is about reconciliation, absolution, rebirth, starting fresh. And then, of course, I think about the ugly duckling story when I see a swan always as well. So there's all these different little elements here. The reversal on the Judgment is, for me, it usually signals to me that there's some harsh criticism going on, or there's a fear of Judgment Day. There's a resistance to experiencing Judgment Day because you're afraid. You don't know if it's going to come out in your favor or not. So when I see the reversal, it could have that kind of a meaning. When I look at I didn't flip over the rest of the cards. Oh my God. When I look at the, where this card is positioned between energy and the next card, I need to pull the next card to give more clarity about this Judgment card. Because the next thing up is the moon. So we have secrets here, mystery, subconscious, things that could potentially need like shadow work type of stuff that's happening. And it can be also about the dream space, escapism, and 5D relationships. When this card came out, it was not necessarily up. It was like, I had a feeling, I was like, I could put this down upright or in its reverse. So there's a shiftiness here, which suggests to me that Divine Feminine is kind of shifting in and out of 3D and 5D energy with this other side of self, the mirrored side of self. So now when we look at that Judgment card, we're seeing the Ace of Wands, which can be associated with sexual energy and desires, right? And then we're seeing fears, anxieties on the other side of it. So I see Divine Feminine working through issues regarding her desires. So the ego's desires, and trying to sort out which aspects are from the ego, which are about vanity, which are about, religious shadow potentially. So she's really doing this shadow work to be able to make this way clear for her heart's desire and to sort out whether or not it's truly coming from a heart-centered place or if it's coming from something that's more of in the devil energy, more ego-based, sexual-based, etc. There's also issues about shame that are being worked through, potentially hidden things that have been revealed. There could be past trauma related to past sexual trauma that's surfacing, coming to the top or being revealed, or was hidden deep underneath and is starting to be like, there's a sense now that this divine feminine is starting to process how much of an effect this has had on her. And I'm getting a sense that if there is that kind of a trauma that's starting to bubble up from beneath the surface, that's what's caused her to have this sense that there's been this fight to protect herself. This battle that she's kind of ready to surrender, like to accept defeat and not fight anymore, could definitely be in regards to protecting herself from whatever happened in the past to her. Because the next thing up after the moon is the Hermit. So of course this is about isolation, it's about soul searching, and it's about going within, taking the light of the star, which is that healing light, and kind of shining it around in there to search out this shadow, to find the place inside where this desire arises from. Because remember, when you're trying to manifest something, if you want to kill it dead, you want to just murder it, all you really need to do is just think about how it's going to happen. If you think about how it's going to happen, you'll kill it. You just push it off forever. If you think about why you want something to happen, this can really liberate you from the parts of yourself that are protecting you from the things that you're afraid about receiving. Because when you think about why you want something and you let those good feelings from that why start to make you excited, it will bring you the energetic resonance you need to attract what it is that you want to see to manifest. So divine feminine in her isolation has gone within to discover the source of this desire that she has. And I also think I really feel strongly there are divine feminines who have been doing work, particularly with sexual trauma. There's definitely some elements here, discovering the source of where this sort of like where shame or fear or anxiety or anything that is associated with sexual energy has come from, and understand and releasing this harsh self criticism about having protected herself or kept herself isolated or alone because of feeling like this really all this tension associated with this experience for her. So she's doing the soul searching to figure out why it is she desires the thing that she wants, or why she prevents herself from receiving what she desires. And the next card that comes up is this sexy Queen of Swords card from the field, where girl has that full thigh tattoo, work, and this cute color in her hair. We love her. She's independent. That's the word on this card for this Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords has many wonderful traits, but when she's in her shadow, she is definitely overthinking. She is really protecting herself way too much. She has become a defensive, sort of aggressive opponent, calculating, manipulative. Those are the shadow traits that can be associated with her. And divine feminine is really working so hard not to judge herself for what she has had to do to protect herself, to fight to the death, right? To protect herself, to protect her heart's desire, or to protect her body or the vessel that she's in. Whatever it is that she's done, she's trying not to judge herself for having done this. She doesn't want to fight it anymore, though. She doesn't want to be in a Queen of Swords energy in the shadow traits, fighting off what she really desires. She wants to allow what she desires to come to her, because she's really believes that she is ready, has done the healing, has brought illumination to those deep inner wounds that were there so that she can finally have her sacred union with this Four of Wands upright today. So not afraid of commitment today. We are absolutely embracing the energy of the Four of Wands today. And this, of course, is seen often as a twin flame card because of the 11-11 aspects on the card. It's also got this very solid foundation and indicates some kind of a soul connection. All right, Divine Feminine, very cerebral today. Let's look at your heart space. Oh, shit. Top of the deck, overall heart space, the Wheel of Fortune. So changes are coming, right? Like this big ass change, huge shift. And if you have uncovered the source of shame, anxiety, and fears that have caused you to protect yourself, and you're releasing that energy and that harsh criticism of self, you don't have shame anymore about what you had to do to make sure you were safe, then you are definitely coming into this sacred union energy. And you have all the luck in the world right now. You have experienced this fulfillment of your destiny. And as the wheel turns, you're really seeing advantages come to you. The niggling thing is this Two of Voices or Two of Swords from the Muse Tarot. So we have a feeling of still being in a standstill, of still having some kind of a decision to make, or there's someone with it making a decision and you're awaiting that decision to be made. Because I do feel, Divine Feminine, that you have very clearly sort of decided that you're not going to fight against your heart's desire to come into sacred union. And that you're not going to judge yourself for the past issues you had with lack, which came from a place which was that you needed to protect yourself. And if there's any benefit to this Two of Swords, it's that it has a similar energy to the Hermit, where the individual in the OG Smith Waite has a blindfold over their eyes, and which we see the eyes are cut off from the top of this image to show us that she cannot see. And the two swords are held up, crossed, so that, you know, it's not very welcoming, but she goes within. She looks within to seek the answer because it's not really a choice she wants to have to make on her own in the original image. But Divine Feminine, I think, is just awaiting the results of some kind of a decision that she doesn't see. And I'm thinking justice is blind, so there could be some kind of a legal decision. She's just awaiting the results of it. And there's a standstill, this pause, as she waits for this. The first thing up, clarifying this energy, is Temperance. So we're seeing patience. We're seeing the protection of the Archangel Raphael, the twin flame angel that has protection over unions, the pouring of back and forth of the unconscious into the material in the two cups that is being done by that divine energy. So she's doing a good job of having a reasonable amount of excitement, balancing practicality and spirituality, and just feeling very patient with herself for the culmination, in seeing the culmination of this desire, but also in just the fact that she desires it at all. The Sun. We have the Sun and the Moon, which is divine masculine, and then the Moon is divine feminine energy, and the Sun is clarifying this Judgment card. So rather than judge herself for this happiness that she has protected herself from, she's embracing it. She's allowing it to come in. She's patient with herself. She's fully enlightened as well. She's achieved a state of enlightenment, and I can't make it up because here's the Judgment card in reverse, clarifying the Moon, which it was just doing on the other side. So we have Judgment of the Moon and the Sun, and both are in reverse. So this is a sense that I have right now, a very strong sense of I don't judge myself and I don't judge divine masculine, right? I don't judge the divine masculine energy, the sun energy, and I don't judge divine feminine energy. I don't judge myself either. So there's not criticism. There's total forgiveness and absolution of self and of divine masculine. There is no harsh criticism. And this enlightenment allows for a lot of happiness to pour in. The Ace of Materials, or the Ace of Pentacles, didn't I tell you? The soul searching that has been done is for divine feminine asking herself, why do I want this offer? What is it that I am trying to manifest? Why do I come to these readings? Whatever. Am I looking to try to manifest a relationship? Am I trying to manifest a career change? Like a house, a car, like whatever it is that has been difficult for me to manifest. Why do I want it? What aspects of it? What is the essence of the material thing that I'm after, right? So she's been doing that work to really get to the why of what it is that she wants, and not being focused on the how, which is what throws our energy. Queen of Swords. Clarified by the Queen of Swords. What the hell? This Queen of Swords energy is upright, though, because in the heart space, there has been this awakening, right? Divine feminine and divine masculine have awakened. This awakening has allowed this absolution, this forgiveness to happen from the divine feminine energy towards self and divine masculine energy. This has been what is preparing divine feminine to receive this Ace of Pentacles. And the counter for the anxieties and fears and overthinking and shadow traits of the Queen of Swords in the headspace is enlightenment, which of course brings about a fulfillment of the light traits of the Queen of Swords. So she goes from her darkness into the light. And the light of the Queen of Swords is intellect, having the ability to protect. I know this art on this card is gorgeous. Having the ability to protect yourself, but not being overprotective, not being overbearing, not being too strategic, but having a strategy. So there's been a transformation that has taken place. The shadow traits of the Queen of Swords are about being underdeveloped and being at the mercy of ego and your fears, right? This sacred union, we have the Death card. We have utter and complete transformation, rebirth, and renewal. Because she has gone within, meditated, searched her soul, figured out why she wants what she wants. She has taken the distorted feminine and brought that into the light and transformed herself in preparation to receive what she desires, which is this sacred union or marriage, if you want to call it that, from that Four of Wands. Well, okay then, divine feminine, work. That looks fucking awesome. All right, let's look at divine masculine. Oh my God. This is stupid. Okay. Top of the deck for divine masculine. Overall, forefront of his mind and his headspace, the world. It's in reverse, so we've got a feeling of it's not over. Something is not completed yet. We are here. We're at that moment of completion, but it's not quite there. But we're there, but we're not quite, but we're there, but we're almost there. That's definitely the feeling of this card. It's like, near, almost have it. We don't. We almost do. However that is, for divine masculine, this is a sense of it's not over until the fat lady sings, right? Like, I am going to do every single thing that I must do to achieve this completion. I am seeking to have divine feminine energy at the center of my world. And what he's thinking about now is the complexity of blending the worlds together. He's like, we saw him yesterday in this energy of like, all right, I'm going to do it, even though I'm absolutely not equipped to do it. I'm going to do it anyway, because I'm crazy, right? Like he's like, I'm just going to do it. So we know that that's true. And now what he's thinking about is the actual reality in the real world, right? Okay, now what does that look like on the outside? Because it's not over yet. Yeah, I made the decision, but like now, fuck, like I have all this shit to do. I have all these pieces to put together, and it's like kind of swirling around. It's a little bit overwhelming. I did a workshop this week with Chelsea Rose, who's a really talented musician, photographer, from the band The Summer Twins, and now she's a solo artist. She has been my photographer for the last few years, and she's running this workshop, which is really cool, where just it's like a monthly thing where we check in and kind of talk about just your dreams and goals, and just have accountability and can brainstorm together, stuff like that. And she had us make a dream map where you just write the thing you want at the center, and then you write everything that you are thinking about that thing that you want to bring into its fulfillment, and just get it all out on paper. And that's like what we're supposed to do today. And so I have that feeling of this card. It's like once I do that mind map, like once I like put that dream I have at the very center, which is it's going to be my record, right? Just to complete my record and all the components of it, because that includes like the single release and the music video and the tour, and there's like I have to get all this, like all the session musicians and all the parts all together, and it's swirling around all the time in my mind because it's something I really want, so I think about it. But because there's so many disparate parts, and they're and I don't know how, right? I'm not sure how. Instead of focusing on how, I focus, okay, well, this is why I want to do it. I want to achieve this, this, and this. And like that calms me down. It makes me less likely to be freaked out that I'm so overwhelmed. But the thing that would be really helpful to Divine Masculine is a similar energy. If you could like make a dream map, like, okay, I want to do this, and this is how it's going to be done, because he has that same kind of like overwhelmment feeling that there's so many things that he needs to keep in order to be able to complete this cycle with Divine Feminine. The niggling thing in the back of his mind is just, it's just the cutest little fear and anxiety. This is the Page of Cups from the Cosmic Tarot. But there are two meanings here for me. Number one, I see him feeling a little bit, he's just chafing a little bit at that page energy. He has true love and everything, but he feels like a little goofy, little awkward, little immature about how he expresses. So there's that. He's also afraid of Divine Feminine's coyness, that she's going to be like, you know, got her hands over that cup and just be like, no, maybe. No, okay. You know, like she's not predictable all the time because she's kind of mature too. So he's worried a little bit about her receiving, her capability in terms of receiving. Like, is she going to receive this from me when I offer it to her? Since I'm offering it to her from this energy, is she going to be in this energy? Like, so that's kind of bothering him. It's underlying. He's like, please just accept my offer. It's heart-centered. It is true love. Like, I don't know if it's good enough. You know, nothing, will anything ever be good enough for the center of my world? Like, you know, kind of a thing. Oh, and then here we go with the union. The first thing on Divine Masculine's mind is death, which was the last thing in Divine Feminine's heart space. So we are seeing here a union about transformation and rebirth. There has been an ending of past situations, and there is a new beginning that is now ready to arrive. For Divine Feminine, we understand that that is resulting in this sacred union, that's allowing this sacred union to happen. So Divine Masculine is first thing on his mind. He wants to rebirth this connection, right? Right now, he doesn't have his world and he wants to have it. So he wants to end the time that they are apart and be reborn in a new union together. The next thing on his mind is strength in reverse. So he's feeling a little bit of a similar energy that Divine Feminine had yesterday of trying to control pride and ego. He really right now has to kind of, you know, he's got to swallow his pride. It's not a very comfortable feeling because he knows that he did some things to block happiness in the situation because of his fears and his anxieties. And so he feels a little bit like he's got to swallow his pride, and that is uncomfortable for him. I also see his fears regarding divine feminine. He really wants to believe in the eternal connection that they have, this eternal bond that they have, and that she's been strong enough to withstand this separation that they've endured, to withstand this ending that happened between them. He feels like he's been relying on her strength so much also, and he really wants to rely on his own strength and not put so much pressure on her to be the one that like holds the connection while he gets his shit together, kind of a thing. The next thing on his mind is the sun. So we have another point of union in the spread. This, of course, being mirrored, where divine feminine is fully enlightened. It's also her embracing of the divine masculine energy. Divine masculine's reversal on this card is directly related to the strength being in reverse. It's like if both of these were upright, we'd be ready to go. But he's thinking about how he is sort of judging himself. His own weaknesses have been the thing that have prevented him from achieving his happiness, from achieving what it is that, like for his wish fulfillment, because the next card is going to indicate that. But he's thinking about how his own weaknesses in regards to this manifestation, how long it took him to release these things of his past and become reborn. This is what has sort of delayed the fulfillment of his happiness. Having to heal those inner child wounds, he felt was something that he was resisting, and he's thinking of himself as being kind of weak in having done that. But ultimately, here's the Nine of Cups. And this is clarifying the transformation. So we're seeing him here ready to achieve his wish fulfillment, because when we see the Nine of Cups, we understand that he is going to receive what it is that he is wishing for, whether it's upright or in its reversal. And so he is wishing for this transformation, for this rebirth of the connection. He wants it to be strong again. He wants to be it to be fully revealed in all of its glory, in all of its splendor, and not be hidden anymore. The next thing we're seeing is the Three of Swords upright, and that is what's clarifying this strength card. And so this is what we're seeing his weakness has been. He has had a weakness in regard to third-party energy, third-party blockages of some kind, and it has taken all of his strength to fight through and to heal those wounds. And I think we see him still thinking he's not quite healed, that there's some also trauma here for divine masculine, that as divine feminine, we were seeing her processing. Divine masculine is matching her, right? He's still got this heartache. He's also feeling heartache at what he has put the divine feminine through. He feels, I think actually quite a bit of shame at having tested the limits so much and prevented them from experiencing that happiness. But to have the Sun and the Nine of Cups in your headspace indicates to me that the energy is you're absolutely receiving your spiritual fulfillment. And if I wasn't certain about that, then the final thing on his mind would clarify that. The Ten of Cups, which is spiritual fulfillment again for divine masculine, because this was in his heart space yesterday. So we're still on this level of spiritual fulfillment. And for the divine masculine, we're seeing that is the integration of that divine feminine energy. So he is thinking about all of the work that it has taken to really achieve the spiritual fulfillment. And he wants to be strong enough to achieve this completion of the cycle. The top of the deck, overall heart space, is the Four of Pentacles upright. And there's a butterfly for transformation. Again, big message, which in this deck is interesting because I don't usually, there's not butterflies usually in a Four of Pentacles. So this transformation is really insistent right now. What is he transforming? For Divine Masculine, if there's transformation going on with the Four of Pentacles energy, it is that he has established this foundation, but he's not clinging to it anymore, right? He's achieved the stability, the material stability that he needs, but it is not with that grasping that we were seeing coming from him before. The niggling feeling in the heart space is the High Priestess in reverse again. Divine Masculine has had this High Priestess card in reverse for 3 or 4 days, I want to say. And when we see the High Priestess in reverse, that is always about, for the most part, not really trusting yourself, not following your intuition. For Divine Masculine, when the Divine Feminine is in her High Priestess energy, she can be very frightening to approach. She can be very intimidating. She's psychic. She knows what he's thinking. She can see through him. She also has her secrets. She keeps her secrets. There's mystery around her. There's a sense that you need to have gone through an initiation to be able to be with the High Priestess. So there's a feeling that she can be like not very approachable. So there's all of that, those kind of things swirling around. But the niggling thing that I'm seeing when I'm combining that with the clinging transformation, which goes with the world, right? He's trying to establish that foundation to be able to ground this. To complete the cycle, he must ground in the material world. The niggling thing is the Page of Cups energy in reverse, where he was afraid that Divine Feminine is going to reject him or not accept his true love, because she may not trust in him. So he's worried about Divine Feminine trusting him. First thing in his heart space, can't make it up. Death, clarifying death. So that's happened twice now in the reading. We had the Queen of Swords clarifying the Queen of Swords. And then we had Judgment on either side of the moon. And now we have death and death. And there's another death card. So that's 3 death cards today. And this death card is in reverse because Divine Masculine has that feeling that we already saw in his headspace, echoed with the world in reverse, of an it's not over sort of sensation. He's not completely let go of something. And again, if the Four of Pentacles is there, that might be an issue. He's not completely let go of something. He's not completely allowing this rebirth or this healing to take place. He's afraid of ending something, or alternatively, this could just be an emphasis that he has actually allowed something to pass, and now we are at that moment of intense rebirth. The physicality of this card, the ripping open of one's own chest and sort of being like echoed in that Grim Reaper image, is just so profound to me. But so for Divine Masculine, that could go either way. There's either resistance here to the transformation, or he is utterly transformed. The next thing, the Strength in reverse, we're seeing an impatience. This is the 3 of Wands. So he's feeling impatient with his own weakness. He's feeling impatient with his own ego, with his own issues with pride. And he's trying to be patient and just believe that the pieces are falling into place, but he doesn't necessarily always feel strong enough to sit in that discomfort of waiting for things to coalesce. And he feels definitely impatient with himself in regards to this. He wants to be stronger in this regard. He's also feeling impatient because this connection is eternal and it's happened time after time after time. He feels he there's like a frustrated feeling there of like, if this is so strong, like why is this so hard? And that the music today, the tension in the music was just this big question of like, why is it so hard to get this to happen? The sun in reverse, clarified by the lovers in reverse. So it's like, you can taste it, you can feel it, it's almost there, it's almost there. He's so impatient for this to happen. His impatience is blocking the fulfillment, right? His impatience with himself in regards to that, his weaknesses, and the work he has to do for this healing of this inner child, the release of past relationships that have to happen. There's a lot of tension here. The Nine of Cups is clarified by Temperance. There's so much union in this spread. There are so many cards, and there are major cards that are in union in this spread. So we have the wish fulfillment is to be patient, right? To patiently await the arrival of your wish, which you do believe is protected, this divine union, protected by this twin flame angel. Your divine masculine feels the same kind of thing that divine feminine feels about. It's like she has patience with her heart's desire, right? Divine masculine has patience with his wish fulfillment of his heart's desire. And that energy is serving them because there is a lot of tension around this finalizing of these last like things that need to be released, that need to die within the self. Third party energy, Three of Swords, heartbreak, clarified by the Five of Swords. Another card of union in reverse. Divine masculine is refusing to accept defeat in regards to this third party energy that has caused these wounds or that he has been healing. He will not be defeated by what has happened. Yeah, this Five of Swords is definitely intense. There's no one likes their eye, any needles coming toward their eyes. So this is just a lot. And there's a feeling here for divine masculine that he refuses to be defeated by his own wounds that he's inflicted upon himself. There's no one else in this image, right? Swords are like fears, anxieties, thoughts, worries, ideas. They aren't real implements of warfare. They're the implements of the warfare of your mind. And so when we are looking at divine masculine's thoughts and feelings in regards to the third party energy that has been involved in the relationship. And remember, that's not just a karmic partner. That can be anything. It could be family. It could be religion, rigid belief systems, anything like that. But anything that is causing you to inflict wounds upon yourself, he is realizing that he's not going to be defeated by this energy anymore. He's refusing to allow his own fears to block him. I don't know how to feel about this. 10 of Cups, clarified by the Knight of Wands, which we saw yesterday, is back again. It is in its reverse now, and it is underneath the Lovers in reverse and the Sun in reverse, and it is blocking the spiritual fulfillment, right? So divine masculine is not going to be defeated by his own tendency towards this Prince of Wands energy. He's using this patience with himself and the elements that are within the Temperance card of moderation to not engage in this ineffective and, not here for it type of behavior. He's not going to be defeated by this anymore. He understands that it is that is blocked his spiritual fulfillment. And he wants to come into the light traits, which is to just throw caution into the wind and do the thing that he wants to do, which is achieve spiritual fulfillment. So I see two individuals here that are right on the brink, which of course makes that tension music that we heard today make even more sense, because it's like, right? Like, we're getting there. Just hang in there. You got thousands of oracles today. Why do you have this many oracles? And I feel like weird. Trippy. Okay, one of these cards I thought I saw come out for Divine Masculine, but it's not. It's here for Divine Feminine. Okay. Divine Feminine, let's get going to your millions of cards. You are in the shadow attributes right now of the Rescuer, which is assuming the rescued will reciprocate and keeps the rescued one needy. And you need to come into the light, which is providing strength and support to others in crisis and acting out of love with no expectation of reward. So there is an aspect of self where you have slipped back into your ego and you expect a reward for the things that you're doing. It's like you're going to send a thank you, or you're going to send a gift, but you expect to get a thank you card in return. Bitch, that's not what a gift is, okay? You just give it because you love somebody. You don't expect a thank you card. If you get a thank you card, you're like, oh, was it nice? You didn't have to do that, and you mean that. If you say you didn't have to do that, in the back of your mind, you're like, bitch, better send me a thank you card. I spent a lot of money on that gift. Then you're in the shadow attributes of the Rescuer. You need to do things out of love with no expectation that it's going to result in anything. So if you're like, I'm going to hold the space for my Divine Masculine iteration to be healed so that I can be happy, you're missing it, right? If you want your Divine Masculine to be healed, that means you have the following true statement that you could say. The following statement should be true for you. I am doing this healing work in myself for the benefit of my Divine Masculine so that he can be fully healed, so that he can come into union with anyone that would match him and make him incredibly happy. If you can't say that, the ego is still driving the chariot. How's that going for you? Not so good. All right. So you need to act out of love with no expectation of reward. And remember, the shadow of that card is keeping the rescued one needy. By constantly rescuing someone, you are telling them, you're not, but I got it. I'll do that for you. You're in the light attributes of the story. Ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. This is a good time for you to be sharing, crafting, expressing. And if you're a writer, it's a good time for you to be writing because you're also in the light attributes of the scribe. So use this auspicious energy to tell stories, write them down, share them, distribute this information, preserve the knowledge, and help others come into the light. That can also be about writing to your Divine Masculine energy. You're in the light attributes of the gossip. So you are awakening consideration for the feelings of others, and you are honoring trust. So you're not betraying confidences of any kind. I also get a sense that you've kind of figured out who you can trust, who you can talk to about the journey. Because there's definitely a thing that happens where we seek advice from people who are like, it's like, I would never call my mom and ask her for advice on what I should do to promote my record, right? My mom doesn't know anything about that. My mom is a nurse. If I needed to dress and bandage a wound, I would probably call my mom and be like, hey, what's the best way to do this? I'm thinking about doing it this way. I have this idea about doing it this way, but I'm not sure if that sounds like a good idea. What do you think, since you have the experience and expertise in this activity? And then she would be like, oh, that would actually work. You could do that. Or no, I'm not exactly sure that would work. And I could trust that because my mom is there vibrationally. But if I was like, Mom, I'm trying to manifest my twin flame, and like we've been connected since, forever, and here's all this crazy stuff about it, and he did this, this, and this. What do you think? She's probably not going to be on the same page with you because my mother has been in a terrible marriage for many years. So she's not really going to have the kind of information or insight or wisdom about this new thing I'm trying to come up with, because she's never ever experienced that. So don't waste time talking to people about things that you're trying to create unless those people can inspire you to keep going or expand you in some way or have real experience with what you're talking about. So if you're talking to your friend who has 100 million, dissatisfying Tinder encounters about how you should be open and communicative with your current person that you're seeing, that person is probably not going to be giving you wisdom about how to have open, healthy communication with a partner. That person isn't doing that. So they don't know. And they're not going to, the thing that you have to be careful of is that person is still going to think they know what they're talking about. But they clearly don't. They're not on the same page as you. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. They're not. They're just doing a different thing. So why would you ask that person for advice or tell them about what you're doing? That person is going to project your fears, worries, and anxieties, and they're going to come from that place where you used to be or where you aren't now, right? So you're getting a strong sense of how to communicate with whom and what to say and when it's good and when it's not good. And you're learning how to have consideration for what you're saying and how it's going to affect others. This was the card that I thought was on Divine Masculine side. And my mind is kind of like, because like he definitely has a card over here, right? Yep. I don't know what happened. Anyway, practice makes perfect. You're getting, again, Divine Feminine. We went on at length about this yesterday, that you need to practice something in order to become good at it. And you don't like the feeling of practicing because you want to be perfect at it right away. I know about your perfection issues. But you must practice, continue to practice in order to feel competent in this thing that you're trying to manifest. God is here. God, with love, bringing you love so that you can come from this heart-centered place. You got a ton of guardians today. St. Anthony is here to tell you you found it. You felt like you had lost something or you were lost, and you're being supported in this energy that you have found. I do not understand why there are this many. I thought there were 3 guardian cards, and there's 5. 6. Speak your truth. St. Bernadette is here. This coming out with gossip is, to me, just be very careful that you are speaking truth, that you are not hiding your feelings or emotions to try to please other people or protect other people. And also that you are not spinning tales about people too, because your gossip card is upright. So I know you're not doing that, but just being constantly in that integrity. St. Francis of Assisi is here. The husky. So if you have companion animals or you're really seeking companion animals, there is, you should find some way to experience that energy. You know, if you can't have an animal currently, maybe volunteer to at a shelter or walk animals, or, you know, like house sit with you for people who have animals or something, so that you can connect with them. You can also connect just in general with nature, with plants, but just definitely being in this space where you are really in this unconditional love and loyalty. I also think it's about the loyalty that you're receiving right now from divine masculine energy. All right. This grieving card is in reverse for you. You are moving out of a time of grief, of loss, that you found it things. Something was lost and now it's found. It's like you have found yourself. This is also about being optimistic, because it can be a Five of Cups energy. Or it can also, too, I guess Five of Cups has sadness associated, but the Four of Swords is the card of grieving and coming out in reverse, and also saying speak your truth. This could be very much too about not remaining silent anymore, but actually speaking out, speaking about these feelings and emotions, and speaking truthfully from a place of integrity. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. And you have that love card today. So as for everything that's happening, for all these things that you're thinking about, for the battle that you feel, for this victory that you're trying to win, just keep aligning with love and trust the direction of the universe and know that you're being guided. As long as you're aligned with love, the path is clear. You can trust it and know that you are being guided. If you are not coming from a place of love, you immediately know that you cannot trust it. If you hear yourself saying something bitter, salty, acidic, you're not coming from a place of love. Show the world the real you. Don't hide it. And this is a time to give rather than to take. So coming out with that card about the rescuer and expecting a reward, just really be heart-centered. Just give freely without expectation. You're also getting star seed. What lights you up? Coming out with show the world the real you, it is likely that you're still being hidden in some way or still hiding yourself in some way. And that what lights you up is giving me that same feeling that I got about the Hermit and the Ace of Pentacles, which was really figuring out why you want the thing that you want. That is the key for you. If you can write down today at some point as many words as you can, your hand can allow you to write. Handwrite it on paper. Don't type it. Handwrite it. Handwriting is powerful, like for rewiring the brain. Right? Why you want the thing that you want, and keep breaking it down. Like if you're like, well, I want a partner because I want somebody to watch Netflix with me. Okay. Well, what does it mean to have someone watch Netflix with you? What's that mean? If you get to the very core of that, that's like, okay, well, I want a partner so that I am not alone. Why? Right? Okay. There's a wound there. Why don't I want to be alone? There's nothing wrong with you for wanting a partner. It makes perfect sense. Everybody wants that. But there's a little something in there that's making you fear you can't have a partner because there's something bad enough about you that even you don't want to be alone with you, right? Okay. Well, I want a partner because I want to be able to experience physical touch. Okay. Well, experience physical touch. Get a companion animal. Call a friend who likes to cuddle and hug and is, like it's not a sexual energy. Give yourself physical touch. I want a partner because I want sexual energy. Give yourself sexual energy. As you seek what it is that lights you up, what it is that is this thing encompassed in this desire, and as you give it to yourself, it doesn't mean that, like, if you think to yourself, okay, well, I want a partner because I want to have sex, and then if I give myself sex, I don't get a partner. That's not what it means. It means you want a partner because you think you can't do or be or have in some way. And that external thing you've convinced yourself will allow for you to get this thing that you think you can't do or be or have. But what you discover the moment you get that thing is you can't be or do or have for some reason. And then you're like, well, I guess it wasn't this, it must be this. And then you want that next. It must be that. No, it must be this. It must be that. It's not. It's that you think you can't be or do or have. If you can change your mind about what you can be or do or have, you'll get it. And then it won't matter who gives it to you. It really won't. It'll just be like fun, preferable. Like there will be deep connections. There's going to be like really great relationships that are different from others, but at the core, you're giving yourself your own needs. Other people see you doing that and they reflect it back to you. I've told this story now for almost a year. And it's funny because it never gets old even for myself. I'm like, oh, that's true. Literally just said that yesterday and the day before. It's like you can't hear that message enough times. All right, we're getting vulture spirit. Nothing is wasted. What seems hideous has its own beauty, and the recycling and repurposing the vulture does is as important as any other activity in nature that supports the cycle of life. Vulture spirit's message is that nothing is to be wasted, for nature sees value in everything that exists. What seems rotten and ugly has the potential to be transmuted into something beneficial, right? Death. And you are reminded that any suffering you have experienced has not gone to waste. Wisdom and understanding that arose from the experience are talismans that will serve you on your journey wherever you go. What is decaying is only changing form and will fertilize seeds you wish to plant, turning that which has passed away into the substance that will support new growth. Like right straight out of your reading. All that you might wish to deny or discard has value and can be repurposed and reintegrated into the new you that you are becoming and the new life that you are dreaming into being. No pain was in vain and no experience was wasted, for you have the power to use it to co-create something far better. This is the miracle in your partnership with Spirit. Nothing is wasted, Divine Feminine. No time is wasted. No experience is wasted. Alrighty, let's look at the oracles for Divine Masculine now. Divine Masculine, you also got God energy in reverse. Divine Feminine, her God card was in reverse too. But you are in the shadow attributes right now, which is using your power to control people, despotism and cruelty. You need to come into the light, which is benevolence and compassion and recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. So you need to come into the light. You have shifted a little bit into your controlling energy, which makes sense because you're feeling a lot of tension and you're feeling a lot of like you're trying right now. If your world is in chaos, you're trying to get control of it. You're trying to like just afraid. So come into the light. Be benevolent and compassionate and see God in yourself and others. You're also in the shadow attributes of the wounded child. So there's a tendency here to blame all dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds and a resisting moving on through forgiveness. Now, resistance was huge in your spread. You have 5 of the 6 cards in your heart space were in reverse. I think around the same amount were in reverse. 2 or 3. 2 in the head space. So a lot of resistance in the heart space, the feelings and the heart, some fears. You need to awaken compassion and a desire to serve others and open the learning path of forgiveness. I think you're having a hard time forgiving yourself. There's a lot of impatience with the self. And blaming, like like this feeling of like, I don't know how to love. Definitely a sense there that is coming from this blaming of not having received love. But you must give forgiveness to those that you feel cheated you, because that forgiveness really helps to heal that wound so that you can move on. Your guardian angel is here to support you in being brave. Your strength card was in reverse too. You really do feel like you need courage, and you do have that support from guardian angels. All your guardian angels, all three of them are here today. Being brave, know that heaven is watching over you and that there are blessings of abundance here that are on their way to you. Just be brave and open yourself to receiving them, and just feel the protection that is inherent in this temperance card. This card of heaven is watching over you. You are getting this house card, home. You are coming home at last. That is the strong feeling I get from this. There also could be an actual real physical transition, moving from one house into another, selling one house, buying a new house, something like that. But there is just this strong desire to come home, and you are on your way there right now, Divine Masculine. I am the dreamer of my dream. This is a ownership card to me. You're like saying, I am the dreamer of my dream, and no one else is going to influence my dream. Divine Masculine, surrender to the divine. This was in its reversal, so this is a very strong message for you. You must surrender right now. Trying to control things is not the way, right? It's not going to help you. And then we're getting the meditate and contemplate new moon in Pisces card. And I see this energy as no more, like this is a 4 of cups in reverse, like no more dreaming anymore. Oh my God, the next card kills me. Holy shit. But no more dreaming, no more being stuck, being lost in this escape, and just thinking about things anymore, but actually grounding and doing things, taking that 4 of Pentacles energy and grounding this union. And then if you weren't sure that there was transformation happening, here's the transformation card, emphasized that things are changing at the cellular level, and there is a deep healing that is taking place. And that is that feeling of transformation, that death and that rebirth. And then you're getting bee spirit. Sweet results await. When bee spirit comes as your protector, she asks you to be very honest with yourself. Do you want to taste the sweet honey others have been making, but you believe is unattainable for you? Do you wonder how others ended up with so much magical honey when you seem to have none? Have you bought into the illusion of separation and become convinced that you can't have what others in the hive enjoy? Do you separate from the hive to do it all on your own, or to hoard what honey you have, unwilling to trust that there is plenty of support and plenty of sweetness to go around? Wow, this is fitting your reading so well, Divine Masculine. If you have been overworking and overdoing and have not given yourself any time to enjoy the sweetness of your life, Bee Spirit is telling you to stop and recharge. Perhaps you're afraid that if you don't get something done, it just won't get done. However, even busy bees need to take a break, and when they do, the honey still gets made. So remind yourself that sweetness is everywhere and available to you always when you need it. Okay, Divine Masculine? You have this available to you, and you can have it. You just have to reach out and take the fruit from the tree. All right, the bottom of the deck, the places where you are in union with one another, you are both in the light attributes of the magical child, which is seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things and the belief that everything is possible. So you really believe in magic together at this moment. You've got that Harry Potter energy, just I love magic kind of experience going on. You're getting this again, the learning experience card. This just came out for you a few days ago. So you're deep in this. You are really in this learning experience, trying to figure out how to come together, but you're seeing the potential in everything. That dove is there. There's finally this peace between you because you have learned these lessons. And so you're not fighting against each other anymore. And then you're getting this friendship card again in its reversal. And so I feel here that you need to take things a lot less seriously. Like you need to be a lot more lighthearted and playful. And I also think this is a strong emphasis that it is really time for you to come together and be in celebration. Blend those two worlds, all your friends experience, like, you know, that happiness and fulfillment of your friends seeing you happy and fulfilled, and just really being in the light and sharing what it is that you have with everyone around you. In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. So everything that's happening, this is the Three of Wands kind of energy. Everything that's happening, it's all coming together. These pieces are falling into place. You are breaking the chain of ancestral patterns, healing and rewriting the future. So you are really coming into a new time for your entire lineage. And then you're getting koala spirit. Spirit has a plan. In nature, the koala moves slowly through the branches of the eucalyptus tree, leisurely chewing the leaves, reminding us that life is not a race or a competition. Chasing around after every distraction can keep us from recognizing that we have all we need and that spirit will always be there with gifts to sustain us. You're being asked to trust that by moving slowly with faith in the abundance that is everywhere, surrendering to a power greater than yourself, you'll be able to experience the manifestation of your desire. As you take your time enjoying the riches available to you right now, sitting peacefully, you begin to radiate the joy and abundance you seek. Spirit is here to help you discover happiness, pleasure, and contentment, all gifts that are yours now and in the future. Have faith and trust in Spirit's plan for you, and you know that you are loved, and know that you are loved and cherished. Okay, well, that is beautiful. Let us close the reading with just some advice for some things we can do to help us today get through this rather frustrating energy that we are in. All right. Thank you so much for being here with me today. You can help me out by clicking on the like button. That helps a lot. Subscribe, share, help to grow my channel. The description box has a link to my Patreon account. There are a few different tiers. You can receive additional content each month, as well as access to music from my band, Pearl and Prayers. Sorry, that's too many cards. Fine, I'll keep that one. All right, Divine Feminine. This is what you need to focus on today. Don't hate me. You need to be patient. This is Three of Wands. You've asked and it is given. Now the pieces are falling into place. So today you must really work on your feelings in regards to patience. And then you're getting Four of Cups energy. So it would benefit you to do some nature work today. You got that animals card. So somehow connecting with nature, being in nature, and also doing some meditation, doing some contemplation, connecting with source. The Three of Wands is also about drawing your inspiration from the divine. It's drawing that faith that we just talked about in that Spirit has a plan. Getting that faith from God by praying, meditating, and praying basically for patience. Divine Masculine. Interesting. Today, you need to work on the Eight of Swords energy, which is self-sabotage / self-protection energy, and the Seven of Wands energy, which is similar, right? Standing your ground. This is also about grounding again, standing your ground. So what I am seeing is stop protecting yourself. Stop protecting yourself and taking actions that are actually preventing you from achieving what it is that you desire. So today it would behoove you to stand your ground against your own machinations. Do not allow yourself to thwart your desires today by protecting yourself from them. Release the illusion that you have to protect yourself at all. That comes from general anxiety. Two of Wands. Ace of Cups. I'm just going to keep pulling it. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Swords, and 6 of Cups were at the bottom of the deck. But Twin Flame Journey, Ace of Swords, Clarity, Reunion. I'll just leave you with that. Thank you so much for being here today. Have a lovely rest of your day. I'm getting vaccinated today in a few hours. My bassist, who is already vaccinated, is picking me up, and I'm going to get a drive-through vaccination. Nifty. What I've always longed for. So that will happen today, my first shot, and then the next one will happen again in 3 weeks. Yay. Hopefully, I'm going to take zinc and prep my immune system so that I don't have terrible side effects like my brother had. Yay. All right. Take care, everybody. I shall see you here, right? Yes. Tomorrow morning here on Tuned in Tarot. Take care.